What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fanatically Speaking. I'm Kent.
I'm Logoff. I'm the Logoff legend. And we're here to say everything that every fan is thinking, but louder and probably a little crazier. Get ready. This is Fanatically Speaking with Kent and Logoff. You know what's funny? Like, I'm not a social media hater. I'm a social media hater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want people to think that I get on the internet and start hating people on social media. That's not what I do.
The first half was absolutely horrible. You know, just inept offense, inept defense, special teams, you name it.
I'm going to turn into Oprah. Why were you so angry?
He sucks this season. This game, whatever's going on, right? And the very next pitch, guess what they do? They double homer. And he's like, told you, Dad. Why are you always knocking down people?
You got the highs and the lows.
Yeah. So I do that.
You need the highs and the lows. And
so I do that. Yeah.
But I'm trying to be the voice of reason here.
I am what I am. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fanatically Speaking. I'm Kent, the co-host and promoter.
Yes, I am Logoff. I'm the Logoff legend, hater of social media. I am the co-host and producer of the show.
There we go. Got our all-NBA episode here as the season beginning.
Another one?
Another NBA episode?
Let's do it again. Yeah, I mean, it's the beginning of the season. Season's about to start. You want to lead off with the kind of a full season rundown, like a bird's eye view of all the different teams, or?
Yeah, let's start in the Eastern Conference and let's see from last year. We'll talk about who's going up, who's going down, and who's going to come out at the end.
Cool. All right. So looking at the NBA Eastern Conference, obviously we know NBA Finals championship, Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Indiana Pacers. The star for the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton, tore his Achilles in the finals. So that terrible for them. But as they sat atop the Eastern Conference, I think it's fair to say that they won't be there without him again. The Eastern Conference, who stands out to you on that side, Kent?
Okay, so what stands out to me, a couple things. You mentioned the Pacers. I think they'll take a step back. You mentioned Halliburton. They lost Miles Turner to free agency to Milwaukee. We'll get into the Bucks in a minute. And then the Celtics, they traded away everybody, and Jason Tatum's out for the season. So those two teams are top four teams, and they're going to take a step back. I feel like the teams that are going to still be there are the Cavs and the Knicks. They were the 1 and the 3 seed last year. I really like the Knicks with Mike Brown now as the head coach, and that stands out. And then just like the Orlando Magic, making that deal for Bane. And I think they'll bump up into that top 3, top 4 tier.
Okay. No, and that's fair to say. For me, okay, so you mentioned Tatum's injury. You mentioned Halliburton's injury. And you mentioned some of the trades that or the acquisitions that the Orlando Magic made. You get on to me. I feel like you do this to me every year. And I remember not, I want to say what, the mid 2000s, 2013, 14. I was really, really big on the Atlanta Hawks because they were a fantastic regular season team, just like the Cleveland Cavaliers were. And I'm still going to hang my hat on the Cavs. They're coming back full strength with their entire squad that played well last year. I mean, if we're going to be honest, like they really just fell short with their injuries. The injuries are what really stopped them from getting over the hump, in my opinion, last year. Maybe they didn't have the talent, but I mean, if you go back and look through the playoff run from the first series, they had knick-knack injuries that stopped the momentum that they had. They won 64 games last year, dude. That's hard to do in the NBA, especially this year's NBA in the what do you call it? The universe of load management and player rest, and so for them to win that many games, like it was as a team that we feel like all overachieved, it was really impressive. So At the top of that division, I think I'm going to stick with the Cavs.
Embiid's a top 5 player, right? And the Sixers should be near the top, but they got to be healthy.
Embiid is a top 5 player on paper. He's also a top 5 player on the injury report. He's also a top 5 player at local hospitals in Philly. Like it doesn't mean anything to me. I want to say, I think he played less than 20 games last year. Like it was something.
Yeah, he didn't a lot.
Yeah, give me a second. Actually, I gotta look this up because it blew my mind. I want to say he played, like, the number of games that he played last year was in the teens, and it's hard for me to call you a top 5 player.
He's a top 5 when healthy.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with guys missing games. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm disparaging him for missing games. It's always something with him. And keep in mind, it was a tricky year for him last year. He had a lot of bad press coming out about him. He's getting in spats with local reporters and stuff. Like, it was a lot going on. And then on top of that, your team is struggling. They went 24 games last year. The Philadelphia 76ers went 24 games. Their star player is out. And you're having public spats with the media. Like, I don't know. We know he can play. Let's see what he gets on the court and does this year.
Just looking at, again, the bottom teams, we want to look at, like, who's going to take that step up, or if any. Again, Sixers, maybe if healthy, they find themselves in the playoffs. And then I'm being optimistic about the Hornets.
Okay. Hold on. Wait, wait. You laugh. I didn't laugh. You laughed. Hold on.
I laugh because, well, my fandom. I want to believe.
Listen, you can believe. I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna allow you to believe. By the way, real quick, Joel Embiid played 19 games last year. Yeah. And I'll continue. Year before that, by the way, 2023-24, he only played 39 regular season. So when it comes to your Hornets, how let's be realistic. Over under, how many games for them? If I tell you under 36 wins, are you happy with that?
I'm not going to be happy unless they make be in, like, the top 10 at least this year.
No. Let's go off record.
Yeah.
Let's go off the record. If I tell you that they're within 3 games of competing for the play-in game, are you happy with that?
I'm not putting money on it.
Okay, no. Don't put money on it. However, I would absolutely like give me the win. I want to know the win total that you're comfortable with this year. I need a number, sir. I need a number. How many wins? How many wins for the Hornets? How many wins for the Hornets, regardless of postseason anything? How many number of wins are you satisfied with?
I need them to double, so 38.
38 wins?
Yes.
I'll take the under. Okay. No, and listen, and I'm not knocking you. Like I need you to understand, like, 38 wins is 38 wins is a lot.
That's the, again, I know. I'm just saying, you said what would make me happy and try to be realistic. I'm going to say 38 wins.
Okay. And I'll say this, if they get 38 wins, regardless of what happens, you can't be upset.
Okay.
Is that fair?
We have it. We got it on tape.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, because like,
that's fair.
38 is the best season they've had in how many years?
In forever.
Forever. Like, you got to take that. And so, yeah, I'm trying to reel you in as, the rational sports fan here. Okay, so you want to shift to the Western Conference?
Yeah.
All right, yes. Okay, so we'll flip over to the Western Conference. Let me scroll down here. Obviously, OKC won the championship. So last year's rankings, number 2 seed is very interesting because it's the Houston Rockets, who have recently acquired one
Yeah.
Kevin Durant. Okay. And then you got
Yep.
3, even more interesting, the Lakers, who have LeBron and Luka, and now DeAndre Ayton. They've made all these offseason acquisitions trying to make things as, well balanced for them as possible. And obviously they had a really good bench too. You got Denver Clippers, the T-Wolves, the Golden State Warriors, Memphis Grizzlies, Sacramento Kings, and then the teetering Dallas Mavericks. That's kind of the top half of that conference. And then at the bottom, you've got the Suns, the Blazers, your Spurs from last year, the Pelicans, and the Jazz.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do it. Talk about your Spurs.
Yeah, they're gonna definitely be better. Wemby gonna be healthy, so they're gonna jump up into that top 10. I don't know where, but the teams I look to drop out is one of the two. It's gonna be Memphis or Sacramento.
Got you. Okay. I'm gonna throw you an alley oop right here. It's weird. Just for the record, Kent is a Spurs fan. He's been a Spurs fan forever. Okay, so he's not like some bandwagon fan because they got Wemby. And so I have a question that I don't think I've asked you ever. What are your not career expectations, but let's just say the next 2 years? Like, what do you expect from Wemby? Like, what do you expect to see from him as a player?
Yeah, like I said, I just expect him to be to bulk up in the next few years, which he already has a little bit. It's a weird fit, right? Again, he is one of a kind. So then just, all the pieces around him now with Fox and Castle and all the other young players, veterans like Barnes, I think they're going to just put it together. The only difference is, of course, they got, new head coach. Pop is gone. So in that sense, that might be a little issue, but the Spurs organization, they know how to develop players, especially young players, and players like Wemby. And I just expect him to just keep going, rise higher and higher. Now, is he going to be MVP in the next 2 years? I don't know, but definitely defensive player of the year. I expect that every year.
Yeah, I think I saw something that said that just based on his career trajectory, that Big Vic would be the favorite for Depoy of the year for like the next 8 years in a row, like something ridiculous like that. I do think
For
that,
sure.
yeah, and I do think that listen, he's a one of a kind type of player who I think is, which is fair to say, we've seen NBA players with his body type, very tall, long, thin, and it doesn't really last. It's not really, you know, a prototypical body type. But I think and even like his body movements to me aren't as fluid or natural as, let's say, like Kevin Durant. Do you
Right.
think that's fair to say?
Yeah, he's not going to be Kevin Durant. He's not going to
No,
be
no, no,
smooth like
no,
that.
no,
But
no.
but I think, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, and like I said, and I'm not. That's not like a. I'm not trying to cast any aspersions against him or anything. Like
Right.
he's a good. He'll be a good player, but his movements are mechanical, and
Okay.
I
Yeah.
commend the San Antonio Spurs for going out of their way to not mess this up. He's had some health issues his first couple of years in the league,
Yeah.
and they're taking the time with him, understanding that as he reaches his prime, they will have a very legitimate chance to win an NBA championship with a player like that.
Yeah.
So I commend them for that, and I hope we just get a chance to see him play a significant amount of games. Like if he plays, I know I got on you about the Hornets totals.
Yeah.
I would like to see him play 60 games this year.
Okay. Yeah. I
You know,
mean, I I, I think, yeah. Hopefully 60, 65. Right. Get 65.
gotcha. Yeah, no, absolutely. And
Yeah.
and my 60 is just more because of his health. And
Yeah.
like I said, it's when he started in the league, he was. I felt like he was playing some, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, the Spurs are playing, and Victor's not out there. So But yeah, but I feel good about them ascending. I do think they take that step up.
Yeah, I expect them to make the play-in, at least.
Okay, so you expect them to make the play-in. Okay,
Yeah.
no, and I think that's a fair expectation. When we get to expectations, as I'm looking at the entire NBA, all the teams, both conferences, the one that stands out to me
Okay.
the most is the Golden State Warriors. And so obviously that the big three that they had, and Clay, Draymond, and Steph, is done. Clay's not playing for the Mavs. Draymond's still there
Yeah.
being a jackass. And and Steph Curry, as great as he's been, even in his aging years, I still don't see a real path to success with the Warriors. Am I missing something?
They're not better than OKC. We don't know what Houston will look like. I take them over LA. Denver, again, it would be tough, but Horford's old. And even though they added him, I mean, he can still play. Now, we say guys are old, but I mean, guys play till they're 40, so age is no longer, I don't think, an excuse, but aging, if you got aging team, and the Warriors are an aging team, I guess, but I give them a shot against some of these teams. It's just, could they beat a Minnesota, OKC, the young up and coming teams like that? I don't know.
The West is so good. I don't see them being good enough to compete legitimately. I think a second round exit for them in the playoffs is a success.
Yeah.
Just with how competitive the Western Conference is every year. And I mean, anybody who knows basketball knows that toward the tail end of the season, you start to kind of mail it in, one, for proper seeding, and two, to make sure that your team is healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And with all the other teams that have a very deep bench, I just don't see their bench. And I mean, honestly, their bench in comparison to their starting five talent, I don't see them having enough to be able to compete legitimately in that Western Conference. And, we'll see what happens with Steph Curry after this year. But, I think he's a universally loved athlete, if there is one. And we all want to see him, have a nice, appropriate, well-deserved ending.
I don't think he's finished. And I'm just looking at these standings again. So a couple things I'm going to point out. One, they added Horford, right? Locked up Kuminga, at least for 2 years, at least for half this season, if they decide to trade him. But then they're going to have Jimmy Butler now. They're going to have a full season. So with all that being said, last year, I mean, they were 4 games from the 2 seed, 2 games from the 3 seed. So that would, again, like, I don't expect them to win the NBA Finals unless, again, Curry and Butler just go, have one of those runs. But they're going to be right there. I mean, it's OKC and everybody. I think we can agree on that in the West.
True. Now, and I don't want to muddy the water about what you said about their record, because I think, I mean, yeah, they were a good enough team last year to win 48 games. Like, that's impressive. But there were a lot of teams that were good enough to do that in both conferences. It all, like you said, it always comes down to wins. Can you win these games? You mentioned Horford. Horford's what, 37, 38?
Yeah.
Okay. You've got Jimmy Butler.
He still can play, man.
No, he can listen. He can play. He's a hooper, but at some point you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that fall off. You mentioned Jimmy Butler. I think over the last 6 years, I don't think there's an NBA player that's had more games, that's played more games than Jimmy. Like, he's been one of those star players that have been, in rough, deep playoff runs for years. Mm-hmm. He was a little hobbled last year too. Like, these are just the things that happen. And I'm sorry, Al Horford is 39. He's almost a 40 burger.
That's okay.
I'm just saying, it's at some point you're gonna get the drop off. It's just how these things go.
Like I said, man, one good run. They got one good run in them.
Okay, I hope so. I hope I'm wrong. Yeah, but we'll have to see how things go with the with the Warriors. God bless them. Anything you've got to kind of wrap on just the NBA season as a whole? Anything you're looking out for? Or?
I think we've talked about it. We want to see the Clippers and that soap opera. What comes of all that in the league? I know you're excited and waiting on that.
Very excited.
And that's not really like got to do with the games, right? I just want to see what happens there. That's a big story. We want to know
because there's, it sucks that there are the injuries to like Halliburton and Tatum. And I know we talk about injuries a lot, by the way, especially in NBA. Let me ask you then, because that's kind of what I look at. I'm looking at the Kawhi stuff. I'm looking at the Hornets. Those are the two things I guess I'm really anticipating. But like for you, is there a player or a team that you're looking to make a jump?
Yeah, and to me, I feel like this team with this roster has skated for a couple of years in terms of like production. And I'm gonna go with the Memphis Grizzlies. Like Ja Morant was, Allen Iverson 2.0. He was one of the league's most popular players I'd say for about a year or two. Mm-hmm. Like he was really, really up there. And you look at the rest of that roster. So, Ja being the star, they got Jaren Jackson Jr. They got Zach Edey, who's 7'8". They need to develop him into a player. They got KCP. Yeah. They got Ty Jerome. They got Scottie Pippen Jr. Like they have a roster where I feel like they should be able to string together, some Western Conference success with Ja Morant being, I would say, easily top 3 finisher in the league today. Ja Morant. Yeah. And by the way, when I say finisher, I mean the finisher of a game. Meaning the
not
game's
at the rim.
Not at the rim. Hey, the game's on the line. I think Ja Morant is in the top 3 of player that you want the ball in his hands to go get you a win.
So you want to see him go back to the job before the drama, for all that stuff. Go back to the job that everybody was wanting to see play for the excitement and the energy.
This is irresponsible for me to say as a fully formed, adult, grown black man. But I think that with Ja Morant, all of Ja Morant's problems, if he was balling on the court, I don't even think it'll matter. It could still be ongoing. The nonsense, the guns, the fights and, arrest and cops showing up at his house and all that. I feel like all of that can continue. If he's out there hooping, I don't think any of that even matters. So I think he should make the main thing the main thing. And I have a fair comparison for that too, because there's a player who has a lot of stuff going on off the court, but when he gets on that court, he's out there balling. I see you, Ant-Man. I see you.
Yeah, but Ant also does it. He is also funny.
He's hilarious.
You know what I mean? He's got this personality, and I don't care about all this other stuff. He's just, you know what I mean? But I don't know how it depends on the situation. It depends on what it is and how people perceive it and look at it. But that's interesting. Well, like I said, Memphis is. I'm surprised by that only because they traded Bane and KCP didn't do anything in Orlando really to help them.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't know. It's like, does he help Memphis or trading Bane? Is that going to come back to bite them?
Gotcha. And just really quick, because I am shocked by this. How old is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope? Just guess.
I'm gonna guess that he's 32.
That's a fantastic guess. I would have thought 36. Like that dude is 32 years old, and I'm looking at
32.
Number.
Wow,
he is 32.
I didn't look it up.
No, you were spot on. But I'm looking at this. I'm like, this is an error. He's had a hell of a run. Yeah, Detroit, LA, the Wizards, Denver, Orlando,
Oh,
and
wow.
and now Memphis. Yeah.
I
So no,
forget.
You know what does that though is guys start so young now.
no,
So
I know, and like I said, I mean, I'm
they
looking
come in
at
the
him.
league young, and then you say, I'm just saying, yeah, they come in the league, and then you say, oh man, he's old. He's played for 12 years, but yeah, 12 years from 19 years old. So,
Yes, yeah, exactly. And like I said, not a knock on him. I thought he was much, much, much older. In my opinion, the NBA is the best sport because one great player makes a bigger impact in this game than any other sport. Kent, do you agree with that?
I do agree with you.
I'm just kind of gonna go over. So I'm gonna cheat a little because I want to do a top 10 list to kind of calculate who the top 10 players in the league are right now today. So what I'm going to do is I actually pulled this up from the Ringer. They have a ranking of the top 20 players in the league currently right
Okay.
now today. And I'm just going to rattle them off from 20 all the way to 1. You ready? Okay, we got Jaylen Brown, Paulo Banchero. You got Booker in Phoenix, Cat in New York, Evan Mobley, number 16, Jalen Williams, 15. Jalen Williams, 15. Kawhi Leonard, 14. 13, Cade Cunningham. 12, Anthony Davis. At number 11, LeBron James. At number 10, Kevin Durant. At number 9, Jalen Brunson. 8, Donovan Mitchell. 7, Steph Curry. 6, Wemby. 5, Ant-Man. Luka at 4. Giannis at 3. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 2. And Joker at number 1. Now, that's a solid
You
top
didn't say
10.
Embiid, right? Or did you say Embiid?
Joel Embiid is not on this list, sir.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. And again, this is just from the Ringer. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm scrolling through this list. Maybe Embiid didn't play enough games to qualify for this list or some qualifier like that. Because as I scroll, I
Yeah.
still don't see him on here. I actually see Tyrese Maxey on this list, and so I'm guessing Embiid was omitted because of his injury history. On that list, if you kind of had to rattle off that top 10, does it sound legitimate to you? With LeBron outside the top 10, started with KD, Brunson, Mitchell, Curry, and then guys you're not going to argue: Wemby, Ant-Man, Luka, Giannis, SGA, and the Joker. So the bottom half of that list is really, to me, the only thing that's in question. That's Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson, KD, LeBron, Anthony Davis.
So you got Wemby as a top 10 player?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
He until he shows me that he is incapable of that. Absolutely, top 10 player.
Yeah. Yeah. SGA is a given. Giannis is a given. Jokic is a given. Ant is a given.
Yep. Steph is a given.
I think Steph is still a given.
A given.
So that's 5.
I don't think you mentioned Luka.
Luka is he's a top 10. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's 6 guys. Yeah. So listening to it. So even though I don't like him, I think he's a top 10 player still.
I agree with you. And I think it was intentional to put him number 11 on this list, just outside of the top 10. And then in the top 10, you put one Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Now, we could do the whole, KD, LeBron thing all we want. I think they're equally about the same type of player right now at their career in terms of like impact. But I mean, I'll put it to you like this. The only other names that are outstanding on this list that were in the top 10 that we didn't mention again was Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell. They are 8 and 9. Yeah. I think you're comfortable bumping both of them out to put KD and LeBron at 8 and 9, whichever whatever order you want to put it in.
I would put KD and LeBron over both of them. And then again, a healthy Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum not on this list because he won't play this year. So yeah, and maybe that's what it is with the Embiid thing.
And maybe it is. And again, I think Embiid, when healthy, is a top 10 player. I mean, we can't argue he was an MVP. I mean, he's right up there with Jokic. But again, it's that when healthy. Tatum, I get, like, not this year, but if we're saying just in general who are top 10 players, Tatum's a top 10 player.
Okay.
And that's not my Duke love.
Yeah, it's your Duke bias.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna disagree with something you just said when it comes to Embiid. I would not have him as a top 10 player for the very reason when you asked me about Wemby earlier in this episode, and you asked me whether or not I have him as a top 10 player. I said yes, of course I do. And you asked me why, and I said because he hasn't showed me that he is incapable of not being a great player, of not being the great player that we think he is.
Okay.
I do apply that to Joel Embiid though.
Okay.
Yes, we've seen him be great, but I think he.
So he's 11.
I would put him outside. I would put him out. I would rather have all these other guys on this list than him. And I'm including Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson too. And it's just because at some point you have to be reliable. He's so unpredictable. Like, not to mention, like, I think a lot of us, we kind of get hung up as basketball fans of the last couple of years. They had that one big run, versus Toronto, but it's just been nonsense ever since then. But everyone's forgetting that he didn't even play his first year because of injuries. Like, this has been a thing with him since the very beginning of his career. And I think that questioning having like his ability to be able to play at that level, at that size, and be that impactful. No, man, I can't put him in the top 10. I just can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm fine with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just it's insane.
But who's your number one though? They had Jokic. Who's your number one?
Damn it, man. My number one player in the NBA right now. Damn. Wow, this is a tough question, man. I don't want to edit this out, man. I might want to leave this in. Like, damn. Give me Giannis.
Yeah, I mean,
give me Giannis.
It's hard to argue that. He's, you know what? I mean, like, Jokic is Jokic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how many years has Giannis? I mean, he puts up the numbers every single year, and then you get that Giannis fatigue. Like, honestly, he's in the MVP top 3, top 4 voting every single year.
Listen, he
just doesn't have a jump shot. So, I mean, at the moment, based off winning the title and all that, I mean, SGA is probably the best. Jokic with everything Jokic does, MVPs.
Tell me if I'm missing. Tell me if I'm missing anything. Tell me a player in the last decade that's had a better playoff run resulting in a championship than Giannis. That year was incredible. What he did in that finals, didn't he end it with 50?
I believe so. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, it was one of those iconic, epic runs and obviously title wins.
Yes, and I feel like it's massively underrated. People, go look at that stat line from that finals run. Carried them through the playoffs and then hurt his knee at the end of the game to end the series.
Yeah.
Like, he's been incredible, man. Give me above anybody else that I would pick. I just feel like he wants it more. Whatever that means.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, again, Giannis gives it all, and he's doing it for Milwaukee. I don't know if I want to see him stay there or go somewhere else. I just don't know if they're doing enough to really help him. I mean, they kind of try with Dame Lillard, but at the end of the day, like, what is? I mean, he's so loyal too, and he's so good about it. He won't say anything bad. But again, Yeah, I don't. But that's beside the point. I can't argue with that. You know,
Yeah.
I was thinking about it, and you said it.
Well, no,
So,
I mean, I'm just
uh,
looking. I'm thinking a matchup with Jokic. If you take any variation of Jokic, SGA, Luca, Ant Man, and Wemby's a little unfair, but I'll
yeah.
throw Wemby in there. Steph Curry, LeBron. Out of all of those guys, do I feel like any of them want that bucket more than Giannis? I don't. I'm sorry.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
you're right.
he's gonna want it. He's like, nah, you're gonna give me this dunk. Okay, no, that was a great
Okay.
question, man. I like you came out of nowhere
Yeah.
with me on that one.
Let's talk about these Charlotte Hornets. We did the whole league, so let's do the Hornets.
Yeah. Let's do a Hornets deep dive. So we know their season pretty much fizzled last year with the injuries to LaMelo Ball. He's going to come back
Mhm.
this year. They've recently checked his height, and he wasn't 6'7". So
He was not 6'7".
he was not 6'7". He's 6'6", and so he'll be back this year. Hopefully, he can stay healthy. I look at Ball, Bridges, Miller. If all of them takes a step up, I think they hit that number that you want them to.
Yeah.
Those 38 wins in the East, I think that's doable for them. But um, all in all, it's unfortunately I'll have to see it to believe it. The stars would have to align perfectly, and I think it's wishful thinking at this point.
You never know if the draft picks are going to work out. That's a Charlotte history. You
Mhm.
just never know with their draft. Um, but I mean, Brandon Miller showed that he's going to be a star, if not already a star. Melo and Bridges have a good chemistry. Again, they brought in veterans like Colin Sexton. They got Plumlee.
Oh, dude,
Um,
you beat me to it. So
yeah,
so that's what I was gonna say. They've got a healthy balance of young, irresponsible talent
hmm
and veteran, like pure NBA grizzled veteran leadership. Mason Plumlee, Pat Connaughton, okay, Josh
yes,
Green,
Pat Connaughton.
Josh Green, Colin Sexton as a guard. Like they've got veterans on that team with with good athletic history, where it's like, okay, these guys can go out there and play. Then of course
Yeah.
then you got the A side. You got your Mello. You got Miller. That's your A side. If they all take a
hmm
step up, man, like it can be done. Looking at it, this is the best team they've had in a while. I just hope that it works out for them.
Yeah, I thought they really got some depth on the roster when they traded PJ Washington to Dallas. And then again, injuries last year. We talked about Melo, but Grant Williams got hurt. Miller got hurt. So again, Grant Williams, right?
Yeah.
Hard-nosed player. And then, like I said, the young guys, Trey Mann. I think you might have mentioned Trey Mann, right? But then there
Yes.
are rookies. I mean, Kalkbrenner, Knipple, McNeely. I mean, I'm not like hopeful, but that's just me. Uh, I mean, I'm just not. I don't know. I mean, he's okay, and I hope that he just all of a sudden turns into some great player. But yeah, they got a really deep roster, and like you mentioned, a lot of it's like they got the youth, they got the veterans, and then they got that tweeners that are young but veterans. I think Melo is you know he is an unbelievable talent. I know a lot of people say trade him, things like that. I don't think they're there yet for that because, again, as I always say about the Charlotte sports, is when you get a star, you don't just trade them away. And that's like that whole nother conversation of, again, being here and watching this franchise trade away guys left and right. Because as we mentioned, they don't just come here. So um, I feel good about the season. I hope it goes well. I mean, as a lifetime Hornet fan, I mean, I want to see a playoff run, want to see something. They made the play in a few times some years back, and they got bounced twice by Indiana. Um, so I want to see something, really, like you said, jump up to that 36-38 win threshold, and just put something together, man. Charles Lee, I think, he might be the guy. I hope he's the guy, but let's see if they put it all together. But Colin Sexton, that's probably, Trey Mann was a really good backup last year. And then even with Mann and Melo on the court, I thought they played well together. And of course, he got hurt too last year. So,
yeah,
Sexton's a really good 6-man. You know what I mean? Like, that's
yeah.
a really good, like, hey, Melo in foul trouble, because that's the other issue with his team is that dude just can't stop fouling. He's got to work on his defense. I swear to God, he fouls out too much for a guard. So yeah, man. I mean, again, I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. But again, I always set myself up that way.
Okay, so, and I guess the thing that kind of that shocked me a little bit, I think Colin Sexton should be higher up in the rotation.
Okay.
Like I
Then
feel
6-man.
I think he should be starting.
Okay. And I'm okay with that, but you'd have to go. Then you're going Melo, Sexton, Miller, Bridges.
I like that.
What, Plumlee?
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Like, I mean, that type of speed
And then
and athleticism, and I think
Yeah.
that they're both but Sexton and Melo are both like offensively talented enough to be able to create their own shots. The defense would probably be atrocious, but offensively,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Sexton could be a
Well,
turnstile sometimes, but I like that
yeah.
just as a better. I guess I don't know. I guess a more balanced, offensively matched lineup.
So then they would go defense. You bring in a Green or Knipple.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just
like
kind of
it.
mix it up.
They'll probably have to really try to outscore other teams, which is the game of the game. But I'm saying it. Some defensively, this team has not been very good, and I think that was the reason they got Charles Lee coming from the Celtics. So I think that might be one of the biggest things. Is a big thing. But I want to see this team play good defense.
Okay. I listen. Who is the best defender?
I want it all.
Who's the best? Yeah, I can tell. Who's the best defender on that team?
Well, it was supposed to be Josh Green, but he's kind of underwhelmed me. Grant Williams.
Yes, he is. Grant Williams, who's not starting. So
no, but he could. Again, you're saying Sexton, but then you could start Williams, and then have Bridges, Miller, Ball. There's a lot of different variations, and I'm sure they'll mess with it and find the right fit. But again, I mean, I'm looking again at this roster. I just can't believe they got this many guys, and it's like, the playing time. It's going to be a battle.
Okay. Yeah. No. And I
for
hope
that
so.
bench to get bench minutes. You know what I mean? Like the starters are the starters, and then it's going to be a battle to get bench minutes.
Yeah.
And they already cut Dinwiddie. He couldn't even make the roster. So.
Yeah. Yep. That's another big thing. So they signed Spencer Dinwiddie. I believe it was in July. They signed him to a deal. I think it was only for like $3 million. It was something nominal. It was a decent contract, and they were coming up on the time to where within that contract the money was going to be due, and it was a couple of days before they were like, "Hey, we're just going to make the decision and cut him." I can't say it's the the worst decision. They have a solid team, like it's pretty well balanced.
And that shows you that, because I thought that was a good pickup, and again, instant offense, but they had to get rid of a contract that was against the cap, so they chose him.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they had to go, and it's one of those things that happen. And I do think out of all the other core acquisitions, we talked about Grant Williams, Pat Connaughton, Plumlee. I think that the loss of Spencer Dinwiddie is the least impactful it's the least impactful than the other acquisitions. So I'd rather get rid of him than any of those other guys.
Let's roll into do you want to do a favorite Hornet all time?
No, because I'm probably
okay. No,
you know what?
Okay.
You know what? Yeah,
we say that.
Let's do our favorite Charlotte Hornet / Bobcat of all time. I like that.
Yeah, well, it won't be a Bobcat, but
maybe.
Yeah. So all right. So again, we like to end our show with a fun topic, whether it be just a random question to what would you like, what would you do, or just a fun like favorite, right? Maybe a list, maybe a top list. Today we're gonna do sticking with the NBA and the Charlotte Hornets. Going to do favorite Charlotte Hornet, and as Logoff said, Bobcat. That will not be my case all time.
Wow. Okay. Why?
Why? What? Oh, Bobcat.
Yeah.
I'd like to forget about that moment in life that they had ugly orange and the name Bobcats.
Yeah, it was a bad uniform, bad name, didn't stick. But Bob Johnson wanted his name in there, one way or another.
Yeah.
Okay, so do I get to pick? How does this go about the pick?
However, man. I mean,
I'll go first. Okay.
I'm a lifer, so we'll start with you.
So I'll go first. I'm a short man, and the most obvious answer would be Muggsy Bogues. But I'm not going to choose Muggsy Bogues. I'm going to choose the player on the Hornets that kind of reached me the most as a young person, watching them growing up when they were good. I am going to go with Larry Johnson.
Grandmama.
I'm going to go with Grandmama. It was, I mean, that character, it was such a big deal in the 90s. I mean, it didn't even matter if the Hornets were good. People knew who Larry Johnson was wearing that Grandmama outfit. Yeah. So, yeah, for me, I'm just going to roll with that.
I'll start here, right? So I went through a couple phases when the Hornets got here. I'll say this about Larry Johnson. He's one of my favorites. He is I would put him at the top. A lot of people's gonna say Kemba because of his and the longevity and the way he played as the best. I would say Larry Johnson is the best all-time Hornet. Had the commercials, had that character. Yeah. Then he was on TV. He was on Family Matters as Grandmama.
Mm-hmm.
First athlete in the city. He had his own shoe with Converse.
Wow.
Had Grandmama cookies. I mean, for me, a little different. And it's tough to pick one. This is why being a fan is tough sometimes. And Larry Johnson is a good one, and I'm not going to take yours. And as I get older, now, of course, as an adult, I don't, Melo I pull for Melo. I root for the guys, just like Kemba. But, are they my favorite, right? So that, the team that connected with me the most, that had the best run, were those teams that, right before they moved to New Orleans, and even before that, man, Baron Davis is probably my favorite.
Wow.
Ever. And again, and I think a lot connects to that. But I got more to add to this. Again, that's that team that went far, almost made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And then he was on the team when they moved to New Orleans. So again, as heartbroken as I was to see the team, he was the up and coming, player. But even before that, man, I was a huge, like, this is going to be crazy. And again, if anybody ever emails me, they'll know. Bobby Fields. I mean, again, his short time in Charlotte, man, he was like not the best player, right? But you just had to like the way he played the game, everything about him. Obviously, tragically ended in a car wreck his life, and that was monumental. Especially here in Charlotte, and for me as a fan at a younger age. So I have to put out there Bobby Fields as one of my favorites, almost my favorite, even in the short time here in Charlotte. But yeah, Baron Davis. All that to say, Baron Davis. To go through all these times that I was a fan, from Rex Chapman to Larry Johnson to to Bobby Fields, Baron Davis. I'm gonna roll with Baron Davis.
I'm so jealous of that pick, man. I mean, we both picked people who were fun and got like really good personalities and brought a lot of energy to the team.
Shoes.
And dope shoes.
Baron Davis had underrated basketball shoes, if anybody ever knows that.
Yeah. Baron Davis had some dope shoes for sure. I'm sitting here looking at these Baron Davis shoes, man. Them shit. Yeah.
Sorry.
Looking at all of these up. He did have some dope ass shoes.
I knew a guy, man. He had like I don't know how many pair, and every time I go to the gym, he's like, man, he's got the best. They got the best grip.
Yeah, it's funny. It's sad, man. I don't think I ever enjoyed playing basketball in an actual basketball player's shoe. Ever. Like my best shoes are like some flights. Give me some high top Nike flights, right? Just let me strap them up on the side. Like I could hoop in those.
I don't know, man. Iversons were I like hooping in them, and pennies were pretty good.
The pennies, the
T-Max were really good. I used to ball in those too. Them John Wall, Tim Duncans I got. they held up, man.
And by the way, those I'll tell you which John Walls did not hold up. Those John Wall Reeboks. I had a pair of them shits. They got me. They had them shits on sale for like $69, and I like the way that they look.
Yeah,
they had them on sale for like $69. I want to say it was at Foot Action, and and I got them shoes, and I put it. It was like an instant ankle roll. Anytime I played in them shoes, man, them Reebok ones. No, that was not it.
Not those.
All right, everybody. Thank you. We appreciate you listening to us for another episode of Fanatically Speaking. Again, I am Logoff, the Logoff legend, hater of social media, co-host and producer of the show.
And again, I am Kent, the co-host and promoter of the show. And please remember to like, follow, share, download. And we are on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and then all podcast outlets.
Yes, all podcast outlets. Make sure to leave us some reviews. Make sure to leave comments for us. If you guys have any questions or any feedback, we always love that type of stuff. So please submit that and tell a friend. And remember that this is a podcast for fans, by fans. We don't have any allegiances to any organizations or anything except for our own teams. So we want to put out a podcast that mirrors that, for fans, by fans. You got anything else, Kent?
Oh, that's it.
All right.
Wrap.
Kill it. It's a wrap.